Get over here! Oh! Superb.
Greetings, Saberites. Nonymous here. Welcome to our new segment, Myth, Lies, and Video Games, where we're going to talk about some of the oft-argued topics over lightsabers and other things dealing with fantasy combat and that kind of thing. Today, to open up the discussions, we're going to be talking about the Weightless blade. We get a lot of arguments and a lot of discussion over whether or not the lightsaber should have mass in its blade, or whether we should be looking to replicate mass in a blade. Now, we, coming from sword-based arts, like mass in the blade. It gives us blade presence, and it tells us how our technique is doing. And we've always held the opinion that it would be logical that the Star Wars universe would create this to be as analogous to a sword or a conventional weapon as possible. Even in the beginning, George Lucas talked about the gyroscopic effects that would make the lightsaber far more unwieldy than would be normally thought. And we always took that to be analogous to weight. So we decided to open up the discussion because we've recently got some confirmation from a canon source. If you're watching the show Rebels right now, if you haven't gotten to this episode, you're about to hear a spoiler. We're going to take a look at the scene here where Sabine gets the Darksaber from Kanan. And we will then continue our discussion from there.
Ignite the blade.
It's heavier than I thought.
Energy constantly flows through the crystal. You're not fighting with a simple blade as much as you are directing a current of power. Your thoughts, your actions, they become energy. They flow through the crystal as well and become a part of the blade.
Alright, so there you have it. The lightsabers have mass in the blade, or at least something that feels like mass. They're heavy, or they're heavier than you would expect them to be, according to Sabine. Now, the stuff that Kanan says after it is suitably vague. He talks about power. We don't know exactly what kind of power he's talking about. We're not exactly sure if this is a force-based thing or not. Sabine apparently does not have the force, so we don't know. But for whatever reason, as you are holding the saber and you are generating power through its power source or some interaction with you or whatnot, that is being translated into something approximating mass or weight in the blade. This, of course, will explain why they move like swords in the movies and the series, and they kind of behave like swords. So we'll continue and see what other tidbits we have in store.
The blades will be drawn to each other.
Block high.
Alright, now this is an interesting little bit. So he said the blades will be drawn together. Again, we don't know if this is a force thing or if this is a magnetic thing. They haven't revealed exactly what these blades are supposed to be made of. But they are drawn together. Is this a magnetic thing? Maybe, right? But whatever it is, when he takes his strike down towards her, she doesn't block like this. Whoops. She doesn't block like this. She blocks straight up and down, right? And it works. Now, maybe that's because Kanan's taking it easy on her, he's not trying to brain her first lesson. But the implication is that the blades at least can stick. Now, do they necessarily stick? Let's continue the little episode here and find out.
There's pull. Can you feel it? That sword is old, heavy, but powerful. Respect its strength. Block low. High. Middle. High. Low. Middle. Good. Let's work on a series. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So, apparently, through that little segment, as we see there, the blades do tend to bind into one another. They do also slide, if you'll notice. And if we kind of scroll back a little bit and then look right there as we go forward, you can see that right there they still slide around to each other. So we don't know exactly what that entails. Is there a technique to it? Is there a way that you engage another lightsaber blade to affect that bind, or is it just a kind of a natural bind? Now, we kind of simulated with relative success here at TPLA by putting clear heat shrink over our polycarbonate blades, and that does provide, especially if you get two of those blades that are made like that, a little bit of bind and a little bit of bite, which allow you to kind of move around that balance point, as you saw in that little clip. Now, Matt Easton of Scholarly Editorial did one on this as well, because, of course, he's going to be interested in that aspect of it as well. I think for us, it really kind of gives us a lot more leeway when we're thinking about creating stuff for this weapon here, because we now know that there should be at least something approximating weight in the blade, which will make regular sword techniques actually valid. So we can get into places and we can do things that we do with conventional swords, with lightsabers, and they behave apparently alike. So there you go. We can continue this topic, of course, all day long, but I will leave it there for you. Go ahead, continue in the comments. Keep it clean, guys. But if you want to engage with us, we can start up a thread up on our forum, and one link over to the Facebook page. So if you're on either of those, check it out, and we can discuss where the weighted blade of a lightsaber is now going to change the way we think about these things and going forward. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this little episode. We'll be back with another one. I believe I'm thinking of at some point doing the Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Qui-Gon Jinn fight analysis. So that might be coming up next one or the one after. We'll see what I get to. All right, so again, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Happy sabering.